Alright, hi guys. I'm going to be doing a paper airplane of my design. I'm going to apologize in advance for any problems with sound quality. Haven't quite got my own mic yet, but hope you like. Here goes. Start with the white side up if you're using double-sided paper, and we're just going to fold diagonally. Now this is an intermediate fold, so if you're very new to origami, then I would not recommend it, just as there are some complicated folds, so you should be able to get it if you follow along closely. So just make sure you crease very well every time. Oh, really terrible. So I call this the triangle base. Other people call it different things, I'm sure. It's very common. So we got those, flip it over. Now we're going to fold it in half. Those of you who are experienced at all with origami should recognize this. If you're not using double-sided paper, it's not a big deal. But I do not have very good lighting in here. If you don't like the sound of my voice, then I'm sorry, mute it. I'll try to keep my hands out of the way as much as possible. So now, I'm going to fold it out so the white side is up. If you push down in the center, it should kind of pop up like this. It'll spin freely. We're just going to bring these 2 points together. We're just going to valley fold where it's valley folded already, like that. And crease down. Just in case you didn't catch it, I'm going to go back in slow motion and see how it's already popping up. I'm just going to bring these 2 points together and then fold it all flat, I guess is the easiest way to show that. When done, it'll form a triangle like that. So this is going to be the top for you. I guess it doesn't really matter because the folds all end up the same anyway. So next we're going to unfold that, as I like to. It's going to annoy a lot of people because I kind of did forget a fold, my bad. But you're going to come back and you're going to pick a side. Preferably, it's going to be, when you fold it together like this, it's got to be one of the two outer sides. It can't be one of these sides. Yeah, that makes no sense. I'm sorry. But we're going to valley fold that with the red side up, as you can see. I'm just going to fold that to the line that's in the halfway part. So it should look like that, to that little line in the middle, and then unfold it. Yes, that is important. Then we're going to refold like so. To that. Now, along this crease that we just made, we are going to valley fold, and you'll see I'm just doing the very top layer. So you open this up. I'm going to bring this all the way up to the point there. Then I'm going to, I call it squash fold, like so. And that will leave. It should go like that. And I'm going to do the same thing to this side and bring everything down flat and crease it. Because while the plane itself ends up being three-dimensional, we don't want it yet. So that would be a pain to fold. So that's all creased down. Now this step actually begins forming the landing gear already. What you're going to do is there should be, where's my pencil? Right here. Right along there you'll have a valley fold, and right here you'll have a mountain fold. So we're simply going to lift up and then squash fold down. For those of you who do a lot of origami and are like, hurry up, you're going way too slow, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. So now we're just going to do the same thing on the other side here. Pull up and squash fold. Recrease everything because I'm kind of a crease-a-maniac. Is that how you'd say that? Yeah, who knows. Now, we are going to fold this edge till it meets. There should be a crease in the middle there, like if I was to do that. You can see obviously that right along there is a crease. And I'm going to just fold this down, like if you've ever done an ice cream base. Looks like an ice cream cone. Kind of like that, but we're not actually going to. That makes no sense. Alright, anyway. So you're going to fold like that, and then unfold it. And we're going to, I believe this is called a rabbit ear fold or something similar to that. Crease down like that. Now you'll have a crease going there, crease going there. We're actually going to lift up just that top flap. We're going to lift that up and push the two sides together. Oh, it's magic. Now you have this one that's sticking out in the middle. You're going to want to fold that down to one side and fold it across to the other side. So you got now a little nose sticking out. So what you're going to do is, I like to use a pencil for this, but you use something to open it up. Get inside there, and you're going to just literally squash it flat so that it's even on both sides. And you can kind of see how I did that. Hopefully didn't block it too much. But basically what I did is you opened it up and then I squish it down so it looks like that. Now this part is a little bit tricky, so bear with me, but we're going to fold this point here all the way up to this point here. So that involves, I'm going to try to keep my fingers out of the way as much as possible, but you just kind of pull it up, and it'll be resisting because it doesn't want to, but the resistance is futile. And you just open these little flaps up, and then if I bring it together, if you've ever folded like the origami crane, like just the classic crane, you'll have done this fold. I don't know how those guys come up with those really crazy, epic looking origami things. I'm pretty sure it's like some sort of wizardry, maybe magic. But this was just called, this one was born of a very slow day in class. I literally just made this up on the spot. Alright, so now you got that. That actually ends up being your nose gear in the future. Mine's really sloppy. Sorry. Now, going to fold the tail gear. You're going to take this flap right here, just the top layer. I'm going to fold it actually the same way we did the upper flap. You'll see. I'll bring it down like so. It ends up folding down like that. I'm going to unfold that. This line across like that. Unfold. Then we're going to fold now this line across like that. Boom. So now I think this one's actually the one called a rabbit ear. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to valley fold along there and along there, and actually I'm going to fold a new line all the way out to the tip there. I'm going to draw it in a little bit better so you can see it. But it actually forms a triangle like that. So now if I fold in, and it all happens at the same time, I just fold all three of those, and then I push this down to one side, and just make that go all the way up to that tip. And it ends up like that. You got a nice little flap that sticks out there. So, it's pretty cool. Now we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. So, Don't overthink that step. It's easier than it looks. So, crease. Crease. And then, yeah. Those of you who are experienced in the art of origami, if you have a better way of explaining how to do this fold, please tell me. Yeah, the two little flaps, and just keep those both folded down nice and tight. Your model will look like this. Now, I'm going to take this whole big flap here. I'm going to fold that across, make sure your nose gear folds flat. Sometimes it doesn't, but make sure it does. It'll look like this. We're going to hide all our previous work. Now we're going to fold this line. We're going to valley fold it. So it goes like that. And you want that to go all the way to the tip, because I always think it's cool to have a very pointy tip on my paper airplanes. And I'm going to fold this flap now, just the top flap. Make sure you don't get these little prongs that we just made. Just this flap down to meet it at that center line there. Nice and pointy at the tip. Alright. I know it doesn't look like an airplane yet, but it will eventually. Now we're going to fold out this flap like so. It's going to look approximately. I like to fold it out. You can really adjust it from pretty much anywhere. I just prefer to pull it out to approximately, so that this line is approximately parallel to this line. But I guess it's really up to you. Now this one comes out. Again, same deal, approximately up to you. I mean, keep it within reason. But it just folds out like so. And then fold it flat, and it should look something like this when you unfold everything. So just make sure that it folds all the way out on this edge, and then comes in. So you're actually bringing it in like so. And same deal here, you're folding it in. And unfold. Yes, that should be longer. Oh, I forgot a step. Actually, no big deal. We're going to, actually, this flap is too thick as is, so we're actually going to valley fold it right like this, and that'll actually stop there. This one's really hard to explain. I'm going to try to keep my fingers out of the way as much as possible, but along that line I just drew, I'm going to very gently valley fold. And so I'm just going to valley fold along that line, and then pull it flat down like this. And then this top flap will open up, and I can push down on it like that, and it'll. I don't know how well you can see it, but it'll open up like that. So now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Going to valley fold this carefully. Yeah. That's how you know I'm not reading this off a book or something. Keep forgetting steps. Don't worry though. Don't trust me, I'm a doctor. Oh, come on. Now you down. Flippity flap. Oh my gosh. It's my own stinking design and I can't do it right. So I choose to blame the sheet of paper for why that fold doesn't look right. But it should look like this one, not this one. So X. That one. Though really, if yours turns out crimped like that, it's not a huge deal. It'll function perfectly. Now we're going to do the same thing we did to this side. Ooh, we're going to do the same thing that we did to this side. So open up like so. If you feel like copying this or anything, I mean, feel free to. If you start making money off of it, let me know how you did it, because I want to know. Definitely send me feedback. This is actually my first origami video that I'm posting. So, okay, here, this is actually kind of an important step, so don't fold this too fast. But airplanes like symmetry, because otherwise they fly in a spin. And this one will fly if you tune it right. So you actually want to make sure now when you fold this one out, fold it out so that it lines up with the one you did last time. So when I fold this out, it should line straight up the last one. Not farther, not closer, but exactly the same. And actually your landing gear should be the same too. So it should look like that. And to fold the other one the same, I actually like to lift this up so I can look down there and then line up the 2 points that they look like they're pointing at each other. And then if I look down, yeah, that's approximately the same. So now I'll fold this all flat out again. And your model should look like this. At this point, it's basically done. There's just one more fold, well, a couple more folds, but one more big fold that could stump you. This is called the jet fold, and it's very difficult to explain, but it's like the most amazing thing I've ever learned. And I'm sorry, I can't remember where I learned it from a book for a bunch of paper airplanes, but I forgot who wrote the book. So basically the way it works is from this point here at the tip of the landing gear, we're going to actually valley fold all the way back to there. And my line is not straight or anything. We're going to valley fold there, not past, and then we're going to do the same thing all here until it reaches this point here, and that point there. We're just going to do valley folds, and then this, right along this white line up here, is going to be mountain folded. So basically, to valley fold, then unfold, then valley fold, valley fold, and unfold. Now we're going to push the middle up because it's mountain folding, and then the two halves together, and then keeping everything as flat as possible to fold it all down. And it'll look like that. So I'm going to just do that again in slow motion from the top so you can see it. But basically, like that, or that, just, 3 different times from 3 different angles. Just like every explosion in every action movie ever. So, fold it all, crimp it down, make sure everything's nice and flat. Now, along this line, to fold up, and that's the rear wing. And along, flip it over, and along this line, we're going to fold it the same way, so that they match up. We want this thing to fly, right? I don't know how those got bent. Now we're going to do the same thing here, along the same line. Just going to fold up, and flip it over, and fold up, and it'll look like this. Now, this is what holds it all together. Alright, sorry about that. Had my camera fall over. Yup, I'm a genius. Anyway, so this is what's going to hold the whole thing together and just prevent it from slipping out like that. You're going to actually, this is very simple, but we're going to fold this, just a simple valley fold basically somewhere along that line. There's not really a line there, I kind of have to imagine it. But kind of open the model up, fold the flap in, and you want to actually tuck that in as far up there as you can get it. Just all the flipping way in. Oh yeah. That's totally what she said. So, all the way back up in there. That actually kind of locks it in, and then we're going to actually fold it, valley fold again as far in as we can get it. And then that, if done correctly, which I'm failing right now. Done correctly, should look something like that. Nice and neat, tucked in there. Makes you crimp that really well because that's a lot of layers of paper to be folding. Alright, now here, in my opinion, is the hardest part, and that is actually getting the rear landing gear. It took me a while to figure out how to get it to work quite right. But my favorite way to do it is to, you're going to actually have to open this up. There's two ways you can do it, but I prefer to do it this way. I open up until I see the white, because the thing can't be all orange, right? Use the pencil. Just get it until it's white like that, and I'm actually going to pull it. I'm actually going to inside reverse fold. So then I'm going to bring it all the way down like this, and oh my gosh, that was terrible. I'm going to flip this inside out. This one's hard to explain. So, if you don't know what's going on here, it's not a big deal. It's not going to affect how it flies if you got this far. Actually, if you got this far, I'd be surprised if you don't notice. So, that'll come back just like so, all the way. Now we're going to do basically the same thing, so now it points back down, and that just forms landing gear. So, kept having problems because it wasn't balanced, and landing gear wasn't strong enough, and then I eventually figured out, oh, I need double rabbit ear it, or whatever the heck I did there, whatever that's called. Now basically I bring it so it's pointing back down. That's probably actually a little long. So let me do this. Give me a sec. So yeah, not too pretty. I'm just gonna leave it as is for the video. Sorry. I mean, I showed you what to do, even if I messed it up myself. Then we're gonna just do the same thing to this side. So again, open up. It works better if you use like an 8x8 or an 8x9. I'm working with like 6-inch paper. So let's get everything's getting a little cramped for me here. You can see I fold it down, and then I up and flip it back. That one turned out a lot better. Not nearly as crinkly. And one last thing to finish the landing gear. Now make sure it's all tightened down. I'm going to actually open up the model, just kind of pull it out like that, and then I'm going to reach in and just grab. Oh man, if I can get it. Yep, pull that out. Remember folding that? I'm going to pull that out as far as it'll go. And fold it like so. And you want that out as far as you can go. And landing gear a little long in the back. It's a little short in the front. But yep, that's pretty much how it goes. And just to finish it off, I'm going to fold that down to 90 degrees, as well as these. Oh, but I almost forgot one of the most important steps. So now you have this. If I spread, okay, you're gonna want to spread these out a little bit just for stability. If I set it down, just sit nice and flat, like so. And so that's basic model, but I like to do a little something extra. So if you put it on the back, like this, this actually folds up two little rudders. I'm just going to fold that in, like so. And the trick here, because there's nothing to fold, like no fold guides, the trick to what to do here is to keep this line parallel approximately with that line. So you fold that in, and then once you've got that, you do the same thing to the other side and just try to keep them about the same size. So watch me completely biff this. Really, as long as they're approximate, it's not too big of a deal. I'm sure there's going to be somebody who's going to pull out a ruler and a protractor and get the angles exactly to within a tenth of a degree. But I mean, really, it'll do just fine. So we're going to do that. Now we're actually going to open this up and then squash fold like so. And open up, squash fold. You can kind of see how that goes. It's forming like that. Now we're going to open it up again. Actually, I'm going to open the whole thing up, and then this little triangle, I'll mark it off like that. You can have, there's two different ways. You can either leave it out, and then it looks like this. It'll look like this when finished, or you can actually fold it in so that it looks like that. So you can take your pick of either of those. You can either fold it in or leave it out. I prefer to fold it in, SR71 Blackbird-esque. If you don't know what that is, YouTube it. I mean, you're already on YouTube, right? So, yeah, that's, I'm going to sit straight. That is the plane I designed while bored in class. And no, I did not get detention for making paper airplanes. My science teacher was very impressed. So, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you hate me, then thank you, because that means you paid enough attention to decide whether or not you like me. So, ha.